Hi, I'm Irene Tansman, author of Avi and Arlene's Autism War. Today, I'd like to talk to you about excellent programming for individuals, adults with severe autism. This might also apply to individuals who have intellectual disability, severe intellectual disability, without any autism. Okay, so Um, what are the elements of an excellent program for severe autism? Um, I'm also going to tell you where you can find where these services actually exist. So, what is excellent program? What is excellent programming for individuals with severe autism? Now, you might have a different opinion. This is my opinion on what excellent services would look like. If you think that this is incorrect, please feel free to comment in the comments section. So, the first thing that I want to talk about is safety. It's very cruel that parents and guardians need to worry what's going to happen to them when they pass away. And this is not just for those individuals who are living at home. They could be in group homes, they could be in shared living. The parents are picking up all the pieces where everybody drops the ball, and that makes the parents feel that it's going to be a disaster when they pass away. But the safety concerns, the programming of excellent programming would be such that a parent wouldn't need to worry about that. The parent or the guardian would be able to say to themselves that my loved one is going to be well taken care of after I pass away. They wouldn't need to worry about that. Okay, so the first area of concern, the foremost area of concern is safety. Nobody wants their loved one to be abused and neglected. Okay, so what would promote the highest safety standards? Well, I think that parents and guardians should be allowed to come and go and visit their loved one at any time without notice. That would do more to prevent abuse and neglect than cameras or anything else that you can do. I'm not saying they should be allowed to disrupt what's going on, but they should be allowed to come and go at any time to see their vulnerable loved ones and what's happening with them. In general, there should be people coming and going so that you others are seeing what's going on. You will see many group homes that have their shades closed so that nobody could see inside the window to know what's going on. Why is that? Why aren't the shades open so that the sun comes in? Let's ask ourselves those questions. Also, there should be conflict of interest free oversight. Whoever is doing the oversight should not have any incentive to side with the abuser or with the provider that's employing the abuser. So those are a few safety concerns. There are others, but this video is going to be very long as it is. Okay, so how do we create excellent programming? Well, I believe that excellent programming starts out with an excellent evaluation of needs. I believe that an individual with complex needs requires an interdisciplinary team, which includes doctors, nurses, speech therapists, occupational therapists, speech therapists that have expertise in communication devices, recreational therapists, vocational therapists. They should all be looking at the person with severe autism and assessing what the needs are and what the preferences are. This interdisciplinary team should show up at the team meeting and explain their findings to the individual and their family and the family and also the guardian, the parent guardian, whichever will apply. It should not be a checklist situation where the person just writes out a checklist of this, and this, and the person doesn't need speech therapy. If they believe that the person does not require speech therapy, the professional should have to face the individual and their family and provide the explanation for why they are putting in the evaluation that the person does not need speech therapy. If there are any behaviors, the behaviors should be looked at by a professional psychologist or a BCBA. It should not be something that is done without looking at the person having an interaction with the person that they're evaluating. That should never happen. So it should start with a comprehensive evaluation by a multidisciplinary team that the parents know who they are, they've been introduced, they've signed off on the evaluation, and they listen to their findings at the meeting, and at the subsequent meeting. They provide information about how they did in the previous year, with explanation. It should not be, well, this person is impaired, so they didn't learn anything, so what? It shouldn't be like that. They should be accountable for what they evaluated, what the needs are, what the capabilities are. They should have to be accountable. So it would start off with that. The plan for the individual would be based on that. Is that what you're getting in home and community-based services? Okay, so let's talk about, this is also a little bit with safety. Let's talk a little bit about the healthcare. In excellent programming, uh, the individual should have access to doctors and nurses who have specific expertise in diagnosing and treating people with severe autism. If there is a chronic condition, there should be a close eye on the individual regarding that chronic condition. And it should be a healthcare provider. It shouldn't be somebody who has no medical training at all. And in fact, everybody's healthcare should be overseen by someone with some kind of medical training. And everything should be followed up on. The emphasis shouldn't be on the pieces of paper that can be produced with a signature on it. It should be on, is this person actually getting adequate medical care? Okay, so the activities, there should be a range of activities appropriate to the individual, and available throughout the day. And it shouldn't just be, oh, you're going to look at your iPad at YouTube's. Everybody should have access to the community. And if they have problems in the community, they should have access to community-based instruction. Another thing that all excellent programs should have is when the families choose to go to outside providers outside of the provider, they should be willing to work with outside professionals that are working with the individual and or their family. So that's what I believe excellent services would be. So where are these excellent services? Where are they in Massachusetts? Where are they outside of Massachusetts? Well, I can tell you that these excellent services are available. Well, they're not available, but they're at the Rentham Developmental Center. They have all of this that I described um, over there. Of course, they are not admitting any new individuals into their program. It's very, very hard to get in. Here is what they have. First of all, when you go into the Rentham Developmental Center, they will actually give you the profiles of the other people who your loved one would be living with. They describe, they don't give the names, but they'll describe what the other people are like. They have medical services on campus, nursing service, psychological service, occupational therapy, direct and consultative. Consultative therapy with the allied health professional is not familiar with the individual is really nothing. They're giving you nothing. They have physical therapy, adaptive physical education, assistive technology, learning and development, vocational services, speech and language, volunteers. They have volunteers coming and going. They have laundry service and health food service. The DSPs are not required to make the meals, so you can get all of those services at the Rentham Developmental Center. Now, if you're interested, there is a group called the Saving Rentham and Hogan Alliance, and we have a Facebook group, and I will place a link below. And our goal is to open admissions at the Rentham Developmental Center and the Hogan Regional Center. We would also like to build elderly housing on these campuses, and we would like to see them grow and thrive. Now, what if you're looking at this and you're saying, well, I don't want that. I want my son or daughter to live in a regular house in the community. Doesn't this take away from from community-based services? Well, I would like to tell you that if this existed as a choice that you could actually choose, according to the law, there should be a choice between this and community-based services. But our state does not abide by that. If there was a choice, if there were a choice like this, it would raise the bar for community-based services because it would promote competition. There would be a floor, and you go, well, if you had a choice between this or community-based services, some people would still choose community-based services. Some people would choose an intermediate care facility, the Rentham Developmental Center, and some people would be weighing the choice. Well, maybe if the community-based services, if my loved one had access to speech therapy or to medical care, maybe I would choose the community-based service. I believe that the community-based services, the quality would rise if there were a choice. So this is for everybody. If you believe in community-based services, it's for you. If you believe that you should have an access to a facility, it's for you. I hope this video has been helpful to you. It's been a little long. I'm going to talk about this more, and I'll see you on the next one.